I'm going to check my bias at the door, and I decided I am going to go through both quarterbacks. What is up, Bills Mafia? We have 316 days to go until the Buffalo Bills win Super Bowl 57, and this channel is going to document every single day leading up to that amazing moment with a video. I want to thank everybody out there for getting on and watching my videos and commenting now and then. I really appreciate it. I try to reply to as many comments as possible, so if I miss anything that you might say, I apologize. Also, I checked my phone and I see that my last video got a lot of hits, a lot of pops. A lot of dippity-doo-dahs. A lot of people checking in to see what I thought about the Bills trading Josh Allen to the LA Chargers for Justin Herbert. And a lot of LA Charger fans got on the video to say, hey, we would never trade our quarterback Justin Herbert because he's so much better than Josh Allen. Well, this one's about which quarterback really, truly is better, Josh Allen or Justin Herbert. There's plenty of arguments to be made on both sides. I'm going to admit to that. It looks like Justin Herbert's going to be a real good quarterback. I'm going to check my bias at the door, and I decided I am going to go through both quarterbacks, both of their abilities, where they've come from, and score them, apply an algorithm that I've come up with that is 100% accurate on deciding who has the most talent, Justin Herbert or Josh Allen. It is about as scientific can get, and it makes my ability to fudge the numbers in any way, shape, or form impossible. It checks my bias at the door, and we're going to determine right here, right now, once and for all, which quarterback is better, Justin Herbert or Josh Allen. Here we go. First, we begin with their college careers. Let's look at the numbers. At Oregon, Justin Herbert threw for 10,541 yards and 95 touchdowns and 23 interceptions. His completion percentage was 64%, finishing with a rating of 153.1. Herbert rushed for 560 yards and 13 touchdowns in a total of 43 games. At Wyoming, Josh Allen threw for 5,066 yards and 44 touchdowns and 21 interceptions. Allen finished his career there with a completion percentage of 56.2%. He had 767 yards rushing and 12 touchdowns. His career spanned 28 games at Wyoming. The weighted formula applied here, coupled with the designated algorithmic post-populated mathematical statistical inferred breakdown with the intangible non-statistical adjustments, including the fact Herbert played in a much tougher Pac-12 compared to Allen playing in the Mountain West, gives Herbert a distinct advantage. Herbert takes a healthy 103 to 54 point lead over Allen from the college career breakdown. On to the pros now. Allen's first year as a starter saw him throw for 2,074 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions in 12 game starts. He had a completion percentage of 52.8% and a QB rating of 67.9. Allen also had 631 yards rushing and 8 touchdowns. Herbert, in his first year as a starter, threw for 4,336 yards, 31 touchdowns, 10 interceptions in 15 game starts with a completion percentage of 66.6% and a QB rating of 98.3. Herbert also had 234 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns. Because the leap from college to the pros is so big and is so demanding, it earns an individual adjusted score. Again, the weighted formula applied here, coupled with the designated algorithmic post-populated mathematical statistical inferred breakdown, gives Herbert an even bigger advantage. Herbert now leads by a point total of 198 to 111. The second year in the NFL sets trends. Here is where we apply an adapted formula based on deriving previous season measurables, weighted and adjusted based on diagnostic performance achievements for each quarterback. This is where Allen starts to make a move on Herbert. But the question is, will it be enough? Allen's second season saw him double his TD pass output to 20. And decreases interceptions in more games, increases completion percentage by 6%, increases QB rating by almost 20 points, rushed for 510 yards, and eclipses rushing TD total from the previous season to 9, all in 16 games. Allen also led his Bills to the playoffs, earning a healthy weighted results-driven point total there, where Allen also caught a TD pass and had 92 yards rushing on 9 carries against the Texans. Herbert, in his second season, threw for 5,014 yards, an increase, but with one extra game. His 38 touchdown passes was better, but his interceptions increased to 15, and his QB rating dropped. Herbert also failed to lead his team to the playoffs, a big miss there, posting 30 incompletions and an interception in an overtime loss to the Raiders in the final game of the season. That Raiders team had the 24th ranked pass defense and the 26th overall defense, according to Pro Football Focus. Because Allen has played 2 more seasons than Herbert, we now must apply a projected trend statistical analysis based confidently on a derived historical analysis with maintaining providential integrity grounded in a deviation algorithm. This system is ironclad. In the next 2 seasons combined, Allen threw for 8,951 yards, bringing his average pass yards per game up from 184 yards to a staggering 271. Allen threw 73 touchdown passes, 43 more TD passes than the first 2 seasons. His completion percentage over those 2 seasons was 66.25%, an increase of 10%, while his QB rating jumped 23 points from his first 2 seasons. Allen also rushed for 1,184 yards and 14 touchdowns, which was a slight drop over the first 2 seasons. Allen again led the Bills to the playoffs where they beat the Colts. He threw for 324 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He also ran for 54 yards and another touchdown. Allen then beat the Ravens in the playoffs, throwing for 206 yards, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions. Allen took the Bills to the AFC Championship game, throwing for 287 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception, and rushed for 88 yards in what many consider a poor performance by Allen in the loss. The next season, Allen again took the Bills to the playoffs, beating the Patriots, leading the Bills' offense to 7 touchdowns on 7 drives, going 21 of 25 for 308 yards, 5 touchdowns, and no interceptions. And then, in an epic loss to the Chiefs, Allen was 27 of 37 for 329 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Justin Herbert has beaten no one in the playoffs because, as we all know, he has never gotten the Chargers to the playoffs. But that's not completely fair, as he has 2 less seasons played than Allen. This is where the semi-quantifiable projected statistical and historical trend formula is applied, using numbers from Herbert's first 2 seasons as a pro and a variable weighted college performance statistical analysis. In other words, using a sound formulaic statistical trend algorithm, we project with certainty what Herbert's stat line will be over the next 2 seasons. In 2022, Herbert will digress from the previous season and complete 424 passes out of 667 attempts for a completion percentage of 63.5%. He'll throw for 4,402 yards, 28 touchdowns, with 16 interceptions for a QB rating of 86.5. In comparison, using the formulaic statistical trend algorithm for Allen, he will have an MVP caliber season, throwing for 5,112 yards, 42 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. He will also rush for 400 yards and 7 more TDs. Allen will lead the Bills to 3 more playoff wins, which will include Super Bowl 57. There are 2 categories that do not require any formula or algorithm: head-to-head matchups. Allen beat Herbert. And swagger. Allen's got it. Herbert does not. That's it, baby. That's all you need to know. Those are the numbers. They can't be argued. Josh Allen, 100% is better than Justin Herbert. So, did my bias come into play at all? You're damn right it did. See you tomorrow.